Alright, welcome back everyone, it's David, aka Fairmere4731, bringing you a matchup, and in this matchup we have General Kapi, and he's going to be playing as the Ottomans. We also are going to have Huey, he's going to be playing as the Cherokee nations, and I will be playing as Prussia, and Deluxe, or C&Q Deluxe, is going to be playing as Austria. And you can see I put the troops down so you can see what we had, what our builds were. And this is an older Prussian build that I'm actually using. Okay, so this matchup here is on the Grassy Flats, as you can see, and it's a 2v2 match, as you probably guessed already. Anyways, Deluxe and Kapi are going to be pushing far over to my position, and I'm going to be forced to push over to the red line to meet Deluxe and his push. He's got all of his lights masked up in a militia, and they are actually forcing me back, and I've dropped a stake line and I'm going to be rolling back, and I've got all my lights exposed on my right flank, and I'm doing this in an effort to keep him moving over. I want them to overextend. Huey's coming over, and he's going to be using a flanking on Kapi, but that will change as Kapi realigns. And you can see here Deluxe on the left flank, on my right flank, he's now going to be crossing my stake line. And this is actually going to help me in a lot of ways, because he can't push his cav up with his lines and his lights to support his push. So that's going to be a big factor on this push that they're going to be doing. Now you can see, just trying to show you the whole battle alignments here as it's set up before the big push here. On the right flank we have a little skirmish that's going to happen on the left, and you can see here on the right how we're forming up. I keep folding back, and here's the first engagement on the left. Kapi's going to bring up his Deli Horseman, get a shot. Now he's going to charge into these guys here. He's going to take them down pretty good, actually. And now he's going to fall out because Huey is going to be pushing three of his Creek Horse Riders over. And I think he does get a shot off. Yes, he does. Takes down a portion of his men. But actually, if you look over here on the far right of the screen, Kapi's got his lights over there, and he's going to lay a volley into the Creek Horse Riders. And now Kapi's going to be pushing his Deli Horseman back over after it's reloaded to get another shot before they reload. So that's kind of what's going on over there. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I've got a line pushing forward onto the Grinzers and the Wimbushés, while my Cav is going to push right into all of his lights. And my Death's Head, my second Hussar, got good shock value. So you can see his two lights here are already starting to waver. And now I'm pushing up all 5 of my light Dragoons. You can see that Deluxe pushed over his, but he's only going to be able to shoot the one on the far left. All the rest of my Cav is going to be able to push in and push through. Now, I did make one big mistake. My Dragoon on the far right did shoot my second Hussars, so that was kind of bad. Now, Deluxe is going to return the favor, and he's going to push 3 of his Cav into my lights as well. Difference being, I have all mine in standard formation, and I've got 5 to 3. So that's going to favor me there, because I can still keep shooting into him as his light Dragoons push into my lights. Now over here, behind now the Austrian lines, you can see I've got all my Cavs, so I'm almost trapped in there. So I've got to force my way back over to the other side. And you can see here that Kapi is bringing his Cav over to assist. And you can see the stake line there. I've made it back over my stake line. And he does get a shot off, gets only a few. And here Deluxe is going to run into the stake line again, because all that confusion going on, it kind of throws everything off for the other player. So that's kind of one of the good things about stakes. Now, Kapi, being a clever little guy, he's going to bring his cav right around my stake line. And he's going to go back into my lights, which just finished off all the 3 Austrian dragoons. So now I've got to fend off these 3 Ottoman calves, Delhi horsemen. So there's Deluxe's general just bit it. So now I'm going to be pushing my last cav that was knocking out that Wimbuche. He's going to be coming into the back of the Delhi horsemen, and I think there's 1 Sifa in there, or maybe it's 2. But you can see I do lose 2 of my Jaegers, but I still do have 3 of them in relatively good shape. So I come out pretty good on that match, because I did take out a lot of their cav as well. Deluxe has lost all of his cav at this point, and I've taken out at least 2, if I remember, of Kapi's cav to this point, maybe 3. So here you can see I'm going to throw my Death's Head into the back of this Austrian line here on the far extreme flank, and then I'm going to pull it out, just a distraction move, and now my lights can come over and shoot up that flank. Now again, we have cav superiority here, and over here on the left flank the main engagement is going to now take place. And you can see Huey is pushing all of his natives into the Ottoman left, and Kapi he's got several ranks of lines of men, so Huey's got to push through all these different ranks. And you can see on the right of the Ottoman lines, he's going to start wrapping those flanks, that all those lines are back around, while he does a charge with the Sifas over here on the Cherokee flank here. Sorry, I couldn't spit it out quick enough. Okay, so here Kapi is rolling that line behind his 2 lights, but what he's doing, he's not only collapsing his flank, he's actually expanding it as he rolls his line behind and further out. So his flank is actually expanding, and he's pulling his other flank in. Now that he's defeated the right flank, he's going to start pulling that other flank in, just to almost bring the Cherokees into a complete circle. So Huey's got to hopefully beat those Ottomans that he's in melee with here pretty quickly. Well, on my right flank, I've got my 3 lights. He's got a Wimbuche coming up, so I'm going to throw all my light dragoons into that line and that Wimbuche in an effort to get that Wimbuche that came back out of this fight. So I think it's a grenadier too. So luckily all 3 of these units, actually the line over there as well, with all that happening, it's going to start wavering because I'm shooting it with my 3 lights. Now I've got 2 of the Delhi horsemen coming in to take some shots on me. After my light dragoons do reload, I'm going to throw them in. Actually, I do shoot my own hussars there, unfortunately, again. So here you can see I did get a good volley off on the Delhi horsemen, and that Austrian line's coming up to cause me problems, so I've got to make quick work of this. And luckily I just am able to beat off these Delhi horsemen. So now I can pull my light dragoons out while my lights are shooting them up in the back. Now over here on this flank, you can see that he did do some fairly good damage to the Ottoman center, but now, like I said, Kapi's got all of his forces from the right flank now coming in to reinforce, and they're just opening up on the center position here. And all that fire from all the flanking positions is just going to be too much for the Cherokees to handle. So Huey's forces are going to dwindle down here pretty bad. So here I'm doing pretty good wrapping up this flank, but I've got a Hungarian grenadier that routed. It did come back, so I've got 1 unit here to try to fend them off. As you can see, all the dead horsemen here. So as I just continue to whittle away here. Now I do make a really big mistake here. I shouldn't be engaging in this firefight. I should be letting my lights do the damage to the Austrian lines rather than letting my lines take the damage, because even though it's not a great deal, as you can see Huey's taking some shots in the back of the Austrian line there, still I can't afford the damage because Kapi's got a quite large force coming up. But I did feel the pressure to take out the Austrian forces. Now my 2 light dragoons do go into the back of the Austrian lines over here, routes out this whole right flank. I anticipated that. I already started rolling my lines over so I can basically 4 to 1 on this unit here on the flank. So I've got 4 units shooting at this one now on the flank, and he's not going to fare well on that. So now that fight's all finished up. Now we are dealing with the fallback of the Austrian lines. He's got 3 left from all that fight. Huey is regrouped and pulled to me, so this is the end game right here. And this takes a while as I'm trying to figure out how we can best attack. Kapi's going to make the first move. He's going to move one of his cadet rifles up with support from a line, and he's actually going to get a shot off on our cav, and he takes out, I think, at least 8 or 9, maybe more. I didn't get the number before, but here that's going to be a devastating blow to us because we couldn't really afford the loss on the cav, because they have a vast superiority in lights than we do. As Kapi's got all 5 of his lights and pretty much full strength. I've only got 3 lights, and he's wisely got 2 of his lights up to face my 3 lights because those 2 lights actually have more. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm pushing all my lines into that front to force those lights back, because I know he's going to wrap around. You can see my cav coming in the back, so I planned on smashing him in the back, but he's got that other light over here on the as I spin around over here on the right, so I'm going to go ahead and go after that one, just because I don't know, there was no point. We were pretty much beat here anyway. So I do at least get to fling some guys. I flung an Austrian guy into the Ottoman line there and knocked over a Cairo Janissary. That's always fun. But my cav is now routed. But while that's happening, my 2 lines were pushing forward, and I do get some shots in the back. Unfortunately, I don't have very many men in my lines, so you know, it's like whatever. But I just don't think I have it in me to defend. Even when we were vastly outnumbered, I still wanted to attack. I know it's kind of crazy, but so I'm gonna push my 2 lines forward to shoot at the rifles in the front while I target all 3 of my lights on the unit on the right. And it's pretty much coming to a close as I get swords right through my gullet. Austrians running through me. Cairo Janissaries stabbing me. Yeah, it's pretty bad at this point. I think Huey's got 1 or 2 units left over there that, yeah, you can see them in the vast background, but they're getting routed out at this point as well, as my guys are too. So here come in the Cairo Janissaries to smack me with their muskets and their swords. We could just observe the pandemonium. At least I got 1 unit still shooting into him. It's a sword fight extraordinaire. Except my guys suck apparently with swords, because they can't even block a sword swing. Look, that's pretty horrible. Okay, Deluxe is just stomping over my dead guys. Okay, and here's my last unit came back from routing my light dragoon, so I promptly just charged in to finish the game off. So anyways, here's the end results. Hope you like and subscribe. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think. Great game to everybody. Huey, Kapi, Deluxe, good job everyone. See you on the next one.